See Trubisky's much improved numbers.
We just got to stick to the process, keep believing in what we're doing. We had a couple weeks where we struggled, but we were a little bit better tonight. It was just guys sticking to the plan. And so if everyone just continues to stick together and just go out there and make plays, it'll be a fun offense.
I want to give credit to Mitch he had a really good week of practice. He was very mentally prepared. He's mentally strong. He understands that throughout this process there's a lot of weight on his shoulders to do well, and I like where he's at. We're slowly getting better, but we were able to put some points on the board and get a win.
We expect to come out and try to dominate football teams, and these guys, the back end, Kyle, Eddie Jackson, Prince, I gotta take those guys to dinner. I gotta take them to dinner this weekend.
Maybe we should take him to dinner. I'm just saying. But the pace of that offense was so much better for Trubisky.
Yes.
All right, and here, look at the defense. So after just one turnover in the first 2 weeks of the season, they come up with 5 takeaways, tied for the most by any team in a game this year, finishing with 24 points off turnovers. That makes it a lot easier on the offense. Most by any team this year, most in a game since 2011, Week 10 against the Lions.
Our Dan Orlovsky joining us now this morning on SportsCenter. Dan, what impressed you about the Bears' win last night?
Well, you guys have mentioned, I'd say tempo. The biggest thing that allowed this offense to play well was them playing with an aggressive mindset and getting to the line of scrimmage and utilizing the players that they have on their offense, whether it was Tariq Cohen and finding ways to get him the ball in space, Mitchell moving around in the pocket, and that allowing him to throw the football downfield. Again, moving the pocket for Mitchell. He's a much better quarterback when he kind of plays in a recess mode rather than a structure mode. And that allowed kind of their special players, their gadget or gimmick players, to be utilized out in matchups. And then, listen, Khalil Mack said they expect to dominate. Well, mission accomplished. I mean, this defense, because they can rush with Mack on one side or Floyd or Hicks on the other side, they can play some coverage on the back end. And it forces quarterbacks to make decisions sooner than they want to. And it forces them, as a quarterback, it just makes you throw the ball where you don't necessarily want to or without seeing defensive people. So, this defense is absolutely dominant, but we've got to credit the Bears offense for playing with some pace and tempo last night.
Great night for Chicago, rough night for Washington. And Josh Norman was asked whether or not the refs were targeting his team last night. Take a listen.
Well, turn on TV tonight. I don't know. You tell me. Wow. Like I said, there was some egregious stuff out there today, but, shoot, if I say something, of course, they're going to tag me. So I'd rather keep my comments right now to myself. It's still early in the season, so my pocketbook is going to be fine.
Talent doesn't do anything. You can look at the worst team in the NFL. Every team has talent. That means absolutely you don't win games with talent. Simple as that. There ain't no magic sauce to get this thing turned around. It's doing the little things right. And that's what we got to do. Like I said, if you're not going to support us now, which you shouldn't, because we're playing like mother. I don't know what you want me to tell. So, don't support us now, don't support us later. We going to circle the wagons in this mother. We going to get right. Believe that.
Well, Chicago's defense put on a show. Washington's continues to struggle. Washington joined Miami as the only teams to allow 30 points in each game this season. The team has allowed 94 points thus far, their most since the 2013 team allowed 98 through 3 weeks. Washington went 3-13 that season. Dan, defensive woes. Offensively, it's been rough thus far for Case Keenum and company. Gruden says he's sticking with Keenum at quarterback. But at what point in the season does he have to consider making a change under center?
Well, for Jay Gruden, the point is going to come very quickly because this is not a good football team. Like we've talked about this morning, they can't stop anybody on defense, and their offense, the first 2 weeks wasn't bad. Last night was a very bad night for this Washington Redskins offense. The big thing for Jay Gruden is we all know that he's kind of coaching for his job, right? And if they continue to lose football games, well, then we obviously know he's going to get fired. And so he's going to be forced with the decision of, well, maybe then I have to play my young quarterback, whether I think he's ready or not, or whether the team around him is healthy enough or talented or not, won't matter. Can I play the young quarterback, have him play well, and then Jay Gruden could go to ownership and go, look, I've got this young quarterback. He's playing well underneath me and Kevin O'Connell. That's the situation. But we see this all the time, right, in the NFL, Jay, where guys have to make decisions to potentially save their jobs, and then quarterbacks get on the field before they're ready to, and then they, in their young careers, kind of get ruined in a way. So this decision's going to come sooner than it should.
All right, Dan Orlovsky breaking it down. Thank you, Dan.
You got it.
Hey, Jay, did you hear that Antonio Brown is apparently going back to school? Central Michigan University said he began taking online courses last week.
I heard that.
Yeah. Of course, he played for them from 2007 to 2009 and says he's not playing the NFL anymore after the Pats cut him on Friday. Now, last night, Tom Brady was asked about reports that he and Bill Belichick weren't on the same page as owner Robert Kraft in that decision.
Well, I think there's always reports and speculation about a lot of things that I have said or have not said or been a part of. The reality is I don't make any personnel decisions. I don't decide to sign players. I don't decide to trade them. I don't decide to release them. I don't decide to draft them. I don't get asked. I show up and I do my job. I'm an employee like everyone else. I'm going to show up this week and do the best I can do as quarterback. Maybe one day I will be an owner and I can make all the decisions that I want, but I would probably have to play another 20 years in the NFL to be able to afford that.
So in the one game that AB did play with the Pats, Brady completed 65% of his passes, posted a QBR of 89 when targeting his receivers. But you know what? His production was even better in the other two games without AB, posting a QBR of 96 and averaging 10 yards per attempt.